So I'm at Hindur Forest. This is just 10 km from Outer Ring Road around. And today I came here just to explore. I came here before, but I couldn't explore that day that much. So I came again. Last week I installed lluvia headlight risers. So dominar looks even taller now. I had installed previously fork risers. So there are, I think, 2-inch offset, fork offsets. So a metal block sits here instead of the fork. Actual stock fork is inside now. So it raises the bike's height and ground clearance, but it doesn't increase any actual play of the suspension. So for a long time I wanted to install this headlight riser so that the bike looks taller, which actually it is kind of, because I had the fork extenders, fork risers, but it used to look a little bit odd always because of different angle. The stock bike is like this, but my bike is like this, so it's a little bit tilted. So whenever I go through speed breakers, I don't get that much force on my hands. But now actually it looks like it has more ground clearance aesthetically. And while riding, it does look a little bit more taller, and it cuts because of the carbon racing windshield. The air that cuts down, the air coming onto the rider also cuts down a little bit more. Because of these tires, it looks more off-road kind of bike. And I think the ability to go through speed breakers and off-road also depends on the tire, because this tire can easily take a lot more hits than normal road tires. If I jump through some potholes, or if I jump through some speed breakers, it doesn't give that much effect on the alloys. So coming to this carbon racing windshield stabilizers, frankly speaking, I'm not really happy with carbon racing, because for a long time I have been using this windshield, which is a good windshield, except that it vibrates a lot, and because of it, the space between this panel and that panel has increased dramatically compared to a stock bike. And yeah, I mean, it does cut wind quite a bit compared to the stock bike. So if you are going for long rides, it does help a lot by cutting the wind through, and you'll get I don't know if you can hear, but I'm hearing strange noises from the bushes. It's a proper forest. And I'm quite deep into the forest actually. I'm not anywhere near the road. I think the closest I have to a road is probably some half kilometer this side. I think, I'm not sure. Yeah. So coming to the stabilizers, they should have sold them along with the bike, but I guess they didn't have that much research at that time. But they did provide some dents, some markings around here in the stock carbon racing windshield. So they were planning to do something like this, but finally they came up with this thing. This thing supposed to be costing around 1500, but for the owners of carbon racing windshield users, I mean who already bought the windshield, they're selling it for 750 on the website. And yeah, that's one thing I don't like about this carbon racing, is that first they sold the windshield and it caused a lot of gaps, vibrations and complaints. I don't know if you can see here, there is a big gap between the panels. Yeah, that's the gap I'm talking about, because of their windshield. And now they have realized that they have to sell something, the stabilizer. I mean, they gave a discount, but is it worth it? I don't know. But it does stop the vibration, so it does do the job. It does the job. It's very, once you install it, it's very sturdy, and I never saw it vibrate once I installed this. I mean, previously I used to notice that this used to move a little bit, I mean, quite a lot when I was riding, but now I don't actually see it vibrating anytime, no matter where, in what RPM or what speed you are. So it does provide quite a bit of stability. The build quality is quite good. But another complaint I have is that it's kind of a weird way to design a, I mean, it's very tricky to install. It's not sensible at all. I mean, first you have to unscrew this screw. I mean, this is the bolt is that side. I don't know why that is. They should have put the bolt this side and this one that side, so that you can turn from here rather than turning from the other side. And then you have to make holes in this. I'll try to add that video during installation to this video. You have to make holes here, and you have to you have to fit this inside, and then you have to, this rod comes separately, so you have to insert this rod into this, and you have to kind of figure out a little bit. It's not a straightforward way. While, I mean, I guess they were doing this because not all handlebars are equal. Some people had installed handlebar risers, some people had different kind of handlebars, so that's why they did it this way probably. But I wonder why they didn't do a complete block of plastic that is holding this. I mean, here this one sticks to this, right? So you can stick a similar kind of plastic here. You can do, I mean, it's not difficult. And then you can provide this hinge to mount onto this. And you could design technically this as a single block as well. I don't know why they didn't do it, but it doesn't make sense to me. It feels like they made it to overcomplicate this. But yeah, it's quite sturdy and it's very good. It doesn't vibrate, so it does the job. So if you are having carbon racing windshield, or if you are planning to install carbon racing windshield, you should definitely buy it. Otherwise you'll get gaps here, like I showed you earlier. And another thing I don't like with carbon racing windshield is that this screw, I mean, I don't know now because the stabilizers are there. I don't know if it will get loose again. But this screw mounts inside using a rubber thread. It's not actually directly fitting into the dome. There is a rubber thread that's inside that holds this screw, and because if it used to vibrate a lot, that used to broke quite often, like 5,000 kilometers, 10,000 kilometers, you do have to change it, otherwise it kind of makes annoying sounds. Yeah, but other than that, it does the job of cutting the wind, but it has its defects in my time. I think I've been using this windshield for, I haven't been riding the bike this year in 2020, but before that I think I have installed around January, February 2019, I think. So I used it quite a bit on highways, on long rides, on rides that stretch far over 500 kilometers per day. For example, if you go to Hyderabad, you cross 500 per day. If you go to Gokarna, you cross, I think, roughly 650 something. So on those days, when you're cruising on high speeds, you need a decent amount of wind protection. Otherwise, you'll get fatigued quite quickly. And this did help me quite a bit. So I'm now happy that it actually has something to. I won't have any more problems, I guess. We'll have to see. And what's more, so I'll try to add the installation. Many people already have installed this headlight riser, so you can check out Amit Suman or Popeye the Biker. They have made proper installation videos on YouTube. So the headlight used to sit here, now it sits here, and there are a couple of clues on how to fit this. I'll try to add a video where you can see the lluvia branding in it. The name has to be upright, so by from that you can figure it out. And also there are lluvia actually made it easy to install. That's what I liked about lluvia. They do make good quality products. I can see the gap here, but I don't know if I installed it wrong. But I can see the gap. I can see a little gap here, but it doesn't really bother me that much because it does the job pretty well. Yeah, that's, I think, all about what I wanted to talk about. This carbon racing windshield and stabilizer and the lluvia headlight riser. And I do have handlebar risers installed as well. So that's one more thing that makes the look taller. So I am actually liking the look right now quite a lot. Yeah.